Hi, I'm Wendy, and here's a little wisdom for this week. So, you may know that it's not Wednesday. So, let me tell you, that's how you know you have completely unplugged when you don't even know what day of the week it is. On Tuesday, I was all geared up and ready for my Wednesday wisdom sharing, and then I realized that it wasn't Wednesday yet. So, I put that on pause, and yesterday, I had every intention of connecting with you for some wisdom, and it totally fell right out of my mind. But I didn't want to leave you this week with no wisdom at all because I missed you last week. So many of you know last week was my 20th wedding anniversary, and we had a ball. Completely disconnected. I've recently made it a practice when I'm on vacation, I actually take my phone, I turn it off, and I put it in the safe. And that way, I am locking myself out and keeping myself safe from being connected to my phone. And the reason why I need to do that is because while I'd like to believe I have a lot of willpower, when it comes down to it, I just don't. And I have to be honest with myself. So yes, I do things like put cookies on top of the refrigerator because then I don't see them. And I tell you what, it reduces the amount of cookies that I eat. Hands down, even though I know I put them there. So what does that mean? Well, I know my limitations and I know my weaknesses. So I have to protect myself from myself. So what do I mean by that? Well, we have a tendency sometimes to gravitate towards things that aren't necessarily good for us, and people who aren't necessarily good for us or good to us. To protect your spirit, you really need to make sure that you are being fed, that the people that are around you are speaking life. Many have been told, surround yourself with positive people. Stay away from people that are in a negative element. To separate ourselves from people who do not speak life into our lives, who have a tendency to bring us down. My mother would always say that misery loves company. So the question here is, why would we surround ourselves with people who don't make us feel good about ourselves or who don't feel good about themselves? Because in the presence of people who only focus on the negative, it is very, very difficult to find positivity in that place. Make those decisions so that the people around you, the people that love you, your friends, your family, even in those small, tight circles, that the people that you choose to spend most of your time with are the ones who make you feel good about yourself and feel good about everything else. Being around someone who doesn't feel good about themselves, who's always down, who's always negative, who always finds the negative in everything that they see, well, we can't applaud them for being hypercritical. We also can't condemn them for seeing the world the way that they see it, but we can encourage them to try to see it the way that we see it. And the way that we see it is how we have to be fed. So what do I mean? Well, I choose joy. I choose happiness.
And treat you right. I wanna love you.
I choose positivity.
Every day and every night we'll be together.
So those people around me feel that energy. They know 9 times out of 10 what they're gonna get from me first and foremost is the truth. They're going to get love, but they're also going to get built up, edified, empowered. And that's what I commit to. What do you commit to? What is your motivation? Are you a fire starter or are you a peacekeeper? Are you the gas or are you the brakes? So once you decide who you are to you, then you can make sure that you are that thing to everyone else. And when we come together in circles that feed us and that we feed, then everybody thrives. And it's a healthy relationship, a healthy environment, a healthy community, a loving community. So, no, this week's wisdom is not about world peace, but it is about inner peace. It is about taking time for yourself, putting a little bit of time aside, not feeling guilty about doing it, disconnecting, unplugging, and just really focusing on you, relaxing, resting, renewing, giving your spirit something to really thrive on, and emerging after that period of rest, ready to take on everything else. We tend to work ourselves and expose ourselves and beat ourselves up time and time again until we find ourselves in a place that's buried underneath everything else, or we stack all these things on top, and it becomes more difficult to dig our way out. So if we systematically remove those things and build ourselves up from the bottom, then we're here, and when things come in, they can just fall down to the sides because we are existing above it. So my wisdom for this week: exist above it. That's it for this week. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next week on Wednesday. Bye.